Alright everyone, we got a surprise Overwatch video here. Out of nowhere, Amazon had this Genji figure up for sale. Not even pre-order, just for sale. Was in stock. A few of us got it. A pleasant surprise. It's not his default skin. That's coming with Hanzo in the 2-pack. This is his chrome skin. Chrome, you say? Yes, but I don't see anything shiny. You're right. That's one of the nitpicks I have with this figure. There's a lot wrong with this figure. There's a couple things right that are, and it's cool. I mean, it looks like Genji. It's proportioned like Genji. The hips are amazing. But man, the skin is called chrome. They could have used the same plastic that they use for Rhine and just painted on the other parts. Speaking of paint, they skimped on paint in a couple of places. And at least on mine, most, I would say, Genji came with 4 hands, 2 obviously he has on now, and 2 other ones, frozen. The hinges were frozen. So hopefully that's just mine, not yours, but let's dive in and take a closer look at this guy. All right, here we go. Genji Shimada of the Shimada clan, brother to Hanzo Shimada. Genji, aka Sparrow, here with his wakizashi, alternate hand. Dragon blade katana in the sheath. Looking, I like the proportions, I like the sculpt, man. I think it's really well done. It's more light over here. There are some nitpicks, like I said. They're pretty big. I wouldn't say they're nitpicks. They're just straight up complaints. Let me get him in a default pose, and we'll go through. Take his blades out. And we just got Genji as is. So again, chrome skin. No chrome anywhere to be found. This should be chrome. These parts should be chrome. This should be chrome. This should be chrome. So much chrome. This should be chrome. No chrome at all. So if you notice, there's some yellow paint here in the center. Let me see how close I could get. Yellow paint there in the center. And yeah, it's yellow. It's kind of coming off as green. It should be the same paint as this and what's on the sword. That same effort should have been applied here, here, on the shoulder in these 3 parts, these 3 circular sections, and on the hips. Probably more areas I'm forgetting, maybe there as well. But that, you know, why do it here and then not everywhere else? It's to save a couple bucks probably, but my goodness, let's get the box in here. So I sound more annoyed than I am. I'm pretty annoyed, I'm pretty upset. As you can see, it's not even yellow, it's kind of like an orange yellow. Here it's kind of like a yellow green. Oh look, there's some flavor text on the belly in Japanese that I didn't even see that should be on this as well. And Hasbro isn't shy about tiny text like that, tiny details. I mean, the figures in the previous wave have tiny text and decals. That says Tracer on the shoulder there. Union Jack printed all crisp. Granted, this is larger text. It does say Tracer on her thigh. Look how clean the Blackwatch logo is. Overwatch logo. Mercy. You know, you got the little plus there, the little cross symbol, the angel symbol, or whatever, her little halo with the wings. So, tiny text decals. I'm sure the other characters have text somewhere else, but regardless, another detail missing from the figure. Again, the chrome would have been nice, but now that I'm seeing it here, I mean, you see it in game, it's pretty, the white's pretty nice. The black, this could have been darker. I mean, am I just nitpicking at this point? The skin's called chrome. I can't get over that. I can't get over the lack of shininess. So moving on, this was the alternate hand. So Genji comes with 4 hands total, 2 gripping hands, which he had on inside the package, and then this, I don't even know what to call this hand pose. This hand, and then finally a hand with the shuriken. This is a softer plastic, and I want to get back to this in a second, but the hands I had were, all the hinges were frozen except for this hand here. And there's a reason for that. So for whatever reason, my Genji, look at the excess plastic. I kind of had to shave off. It was kind of all over and I had to peel that off. So, I mean, that looks mangled. I already have stressing there on the hands because I couldn't get the freaking hand to bend. A lot of stressing there. You can see the white. And I'm not forcing it to make my point because I don't want my damn Genji toy to break. But this one has some minor stressing too. And it's a hard, decent plastic. This hand, for whatever reason, there's like an extra piece of plastic sticking out on the hinge that when I went and bent it, you could see it there. It like totally stressed the hand. So now the palm has a stress mark on it. I'm just trying to bend it this way. You could see the hinge. You could see, oh, the peg. Oh my gosh, I don't even know if the hand could go down. There we go. Be careful with your hands. This, however, because this is on a softer plastic, the hand is molded in that softer plastic. However, the hinge here is on the harder plastic, but combined make for a great hinge. So you could even kind of see the yellow, the hand. The hand was molded in this clear plastic and everything else was painted on. Again, I really like the sculpt. I think Hasbro did an excellent job. I think this is more proportioned and more shaped like Genji than, say, the Figma version. I mean, of course, Reinhardt's going to tower over him, but yeah, I think the shape is nice. The detail in the armor is great, too. I mean, you got, you know, all these little circular indentations that are found on the actual armor. The visor, the head, all that stuff looks great. I mean, it looks good. A lot of white here in the back. See, yeah, there should have been yellow in there. Got the cleats, the bottom of his feet, his ninja shoes. Thin calves, knee pads. It's good detail in the figure. Hands. I think these hands, I'm not wrong, because I sound cocky there, I'm not wrong. Yeah, the glove should have been black with, again, chrome fingertips, but you know, that's a lot. I guess I'm asking, I might be asking for too much. I mean, I know there's some things that are justified and some things I'm just asking for too much on. Let's take a look at his articulation. So Genji has no articulation on this, and this should have been sculpted. I don't think he's been drawn without it kind of having angular, you know, an angular shape. It wasn't just kind of draped like that. I could be wrong. Maybe in the game, does it even drape calmly like that? I'll have to take another look. You can let me know in the comments. But there's no articulation here. I would have expected this to peg in and then just kind of to be able to loop it around, but it isn't. So Genji's head is on a hinge, a ball hinge, so you unfortunately can't look up like at all. So you can look down pretty well. There is a slight, not really, I'm being generous, there's a, whatever. Left, right, pliable material there. For his shoulders, they do go up this far, get a good rotation. We do have a nice bicep cut. So we do have double jointed elbows, but they may as well be single jointed. So as you can see, the bend is happening in this joint here on the bicep. I can't, trying to get it to bend there, but it looks like this is gonna pop out. So I'm only getting that far. Same with the other hand. Default hand, main sword wielding hand does have the up down motion. Again, be careful with your pegs. alternate hand has just a basic hinge, up-down hinge. Both this hand and the other gripping hand both have regular up-down hinges. Now going back to shoulders, there is a butterfly joint and it does have a decent back. However, because of this breastplate and the type of hard plastic they used, I almost feel this should have been a separate piece with a more pliable material. It's pretty much useless here. And if you're gonna try to twist his hands to come this way for like kind of like a hugging motion or a grabbing motion, it's the biceps just gonna get in the way. So you're only going that far. There is a diaphragm joint. You get a nice tilt, left, right, forward, back, but combined with the ab crunch, which we're seeing on a lot of Overwatch and Power Ranger figures. And the hips are great. We'll get to those. The hips, out that far, forward that far, and back. Look at that. I haven't seen that in a while. Does have bicep cuts. Oops, he does have thigh cuts. Caught myself there. Double jointed knees, however, because of where the plastic ends, it can't really go too far. I mean, you can get him to kick his own ass because of how good the hips go back, but kick his own back rather than his ass. So he does have forward up this far. However, you see these little bits of armor sticking out? Yep, they prevent the ankle pivot from doing what it should be doing. If you don't care about the aesthetics, you can just clip these off, heat it up, clip them off, and you can get your good ankle pivot. Yes, I know, apples and oranges, but it had to be done. I mean, of course, the articulation is better on this guy. The different engineering techniques that Hasbro just doesn't use and won't ever use. But, I mean, this guy was on sale at Target for like 20 bucks. He was on sale at GameStop for 20 bucks. If these were the same price, I would definitely go with the Figma. Given that I love posing action figures and taking pictures of them, I would still pay the extra $40 and go for this. Go for the Figma version. So yes, no shit, the Figma is a better figure than that. Don't take what I say out of context. What I'm saying is it is worth paying the extra 40 bucks at full price than what we got from Hasbro for 20 bucks. Finally, here's Genji next to a couple of Overwatch team members. Got Soldier and Mercy here. Mercy and Soldier both are taller than him. I don't know if the proportions are correct in game, and naturally Reinhardt's going to tower over everybody. But just to quickly revisit those butterfly joints, Hasbro can do an excellent job. I mean, look at Reaper here. I mean, his hands can touch. Look at the range on that. That's what we should have gotten with Genji. Again, the chest piece should have been a separate piece and a softer plastic. And I think even Soldier, right? He has butterfly joints. So get a good back and a good forward. Good back and a good forward. So, I mean, you can even move those out of the way and get an even better forward. So, could be done. Just different methods of sculpting, but I have to say, so when Star Wars Black Series came out, story time folks, when Star Wars Black Series came out, the first two waves, especially the first wave, were fantastic for its time. Second wave with Fett, you know, awesome as well. And then after that, the figures just kind of, especially the humanoids, started having goopy paint. Articulation was just okay. I'm hoping that doesn't happen here with Overwatch. I don't know if this dude is part of Series 2. I don't know if he's an exclusive, but I'm hoping McCree, Zarya, and Junkrat are better than this guy. Because even just the plastic feels a little different. It feels a little softer. Not necessarily gummy, but it just feels softer when compared to those in the first run of figures. So, I mean, completely up to you. I'm not necessarily telling you these things to sway you one way or another. I'm just showing off a cool action figure that could have been better and had the potential to be better given what we got in the first wave. So thanks for watching, hearing me rant, and hopefully the other figures are better. Can't wait to get my hands on them. So see you soon.